Midfield, number 8, Bruno Zibi. Forward, number 9, Moses Danto. Forward, number 12, Nico Pasquati. Number 13, forward, Mamadi Kamara. Number 14 in midfield, Elijah Adekube. On defense, number 20, Jay Wielden. Number 23 in midfield, Kyle Jones. And number 24, defenseman Joel Waterman. We now ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem. Let's go, Foothills! A special welcome today to those loud and crazy Foothills soldiers, foot soldiers behind the goal. Support our team every event. We look forward to hearing them cheering on Foothills FC. A special thank you to our walkout team today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to USL PDL action in the Northwest Division from Calgary and /Okotoks, Alberta, Canada. Dave Stanish along for the ride one more time with my special guest colorman, Frank Chofie, the Foothills FC Youth Under 20 coach. And Frank, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Thank you, Dave. Pleasure to be here on a terrific night to play the game. Looking forward to the evening, and hopefully it'll be a good match between these two pretty high-level teams.
As you heard in our introduction, we have all 11 players for both teams. Zachary Nelson and Marco Carducci are the starting goaltenders. Nelson in blue with his teammates in red, traveling left to right on your video screen, and Carducci in green with his teammates in white with green numerals. It is the Portland Timbers U23 versus the Calgary Foothills U23. Of course, 8 overagers are allowed in the PDL. So we'll keep an eye out for those players. Of course, Nick Ledgerwood, the most famous player for Calgary Foothills FC with 50 international caps for Team Canada. And you have got a whole bunch of research there, Frank.
Yeah.
This is a big revenge match between these two teams. Foothills FC and Portland Timbers tied with the same number of points, same number of wins, ties, and losses. But there was a significant goal differential, which gave Portland the home field advantage, and they dominated them 3-0 in that Northwest Division Championship game to advance to the round of 16, which we'll get to later on, as they lost to Golden State FC in that round of 16 in the Western semis. But yeah, talking to Coach Wilden this week, revenge is definitely on the minds of the executives, the players, and the coaches. They want to get even for that loss.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a revenge match, I think, not only because of the 3-0 loss, but I know that the Foothills FC team last year had quite an adventure traveling to Portland. There was a lot of travel issues. It was a 14-hour drive down to Salem, and then to come back and have to lick your wounds after a 3-0 loss to the team that eliminated you out of the playoffs. I think there's a bit of a revenge factor in tonight's game for Foothills FC.
Portland laying it out at a 4-4-2 strategy at this time. Going left to right from Nelson's left, Shimazaki, Varstraten, DeLise, and number 46, Jesse Martin are the back line. Segovia, Riley, Sutherland, and Haji. The midfield, Dixon and Jimenez are the forwards. Behind, of course, Zachary Nelson in net. For FC Foothills, Carducci, left from his left to right, Wilden and Waterman at the back, Haynes, Atakube, and Zeeby, Jones and Ledgerwood. Pasquati, Danto, and Kamara are the starting strikers. And we're already having some questions here. We haven't even kicked the ball away yet. But the referees in yellow, the goalies in blue and green, Foothills in white, and the Portland Timbers in red. And most importantly, the crowd starting to fill in.
Fans, now let's make some noise for your Foothills FC. Go Foothills!
Two players missing of significance tonight, one player from each team. For the Portland Timbers, Gio Magana Rivera did not make the trip, and for the Foothills FC, Tofa Fakunle is busy in Prince George, BC, graduating from UNBC tonight. So we know Tofa's been watching, and we thank him for watching, and we'll see you here, hopefully, Tofa, on Sunday. And hopefully there's some people in Prince George watching this broadcast tonight as we are officially underway. Foothills FC 2-0, Portland 1-1 coming into the game. Neither team trying to take it easy, and they want to either continue the trend from last year, do the Timbers, or break the trend from last year, do the Foothills FC. The Timbers did not travel to Alberta last year, and interviews with Tommy Wilden all week we're talking about how there may be a big adjustment to the altitude, and that one's going to be sent in right away, not wasting any time, was Mamadi Kamara, and Nelson had to be careful. So I've lived here my whole life, so I don't know anything about a different altitude, but do you think that can make a difference, Frank?
I think it could. I don't think the heat is going to be a problem because Salem gets pretty hot and steamy in the summers, but I do think the altitude, given that this is their first game outside of the Pacific Northwest, may be a challenge for Portland.
Starting temperature, 22 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit for our American friends watching tonight on YouTube Live. And if you're either live or on the archive, we appreciate you watching. And once again, it'll be Foothills FC dictating the pace on the offense, building from Carducci, right to left on your screen. The center, how about that? Nice save and a quick opportunity from Moses Danto, number 9, the goal scorer from last week. He's not wasting any time. And let's see what Kyle Jones, who fed Danto on a goal on a corner kick last week. Maybe we can match it up here. Just a minute 45 into the game. 2 great chances. How about a third? Rolling off the edge of the boot of Joel Waterman, 24, but it's not taking long here. They're pressing the issue.
Yeah, unlucky on that one. I thought the build-up from Jay Wielden up to Bruno Zebi, who had pushed up as the fullback, got the ball deep, and then the cross that forced a good save from the keeper, Nelson.
Once again, Calgary's possession. It'll roll past the end line, and it'll be a goal kick for Mr. Nelson. Calgary comes into the game with 2 wins. They have not 2 wins in 2 home matches. They have not played on the road. Here's another quick steal, but Danto knew he was going to be offside as he was ahead of the second last defender and immediately pulled back. But a nice steal there for Kyle Jones, who's looked fantastic so far in these first 2 games plus 3 minutes.
Yeah, really good start from Foothills. I think they're getting a little bit more of the possession. I think Portland is trying to play out, but Foothills' organization is showing that they can get behind the ball and win possession. And then they'll do stuff like this where they'll build out slowly through the center backs and then up through midfield.
Wanting to dictate the pace as they did against the Victoria Highlanders 2 weeks ago. So Portland coming off the split in BC 1 week ago, as they did not play 2 weeks ago, and the opposite for the Highlanders, as they played 2 weeks ago but had last week off. That one sent all the way down to the left wing. Jonathan Jimenez can't come up with it, and it'll be a throw in for Calgary. The white shirts with the green stripes. If we remember 2 Fridays ago, those white shirts were not very white for very long. So still developing the grass here at Foothills Composite High School, normally a home for the other kind of football. So we'll see how many field goals get scored tonight.
Yeah, once again, good possession by Foothills, and they're switching the field of play, engaging the fullbacks like you saw Bruno Zebi there, and then just a bit of a misconstrued pass there. But good possession so far, good build-up from Foothills FC.
Elijah Adekube sending that one a little too far. And the redemption we talked about, these guys are very, very serious about making up for that 3-0 game. As you mentioned, big issues with travel and altitude in the other direction, and just a miserable experience when it meant the most.
Yeah, it was, and I think they. The other thing I think tonight too is that Foothills wants to, keep the unbeaten record. These weekend games against Portland will allow them to open up a gap between them against a strong opponent in the conference and division. So I think it's an important game all around, not only for the revenge factor, but what it can do in the standings as well.
6 teams in the Northwest Division, 14 games on the schedule. So some teams they'll play twice, some teams they'll play 3 times. Top 2 make it. These were the 2 last year. However, Victoria Highlanders, TSS Rovers, Lane United, and Seattle Sounders are going to try to change that this year.
Absolutely.
But these 2 teams were the preseason favorites coming in. Calgary rated number 3 in the USL PDL power rankings in the Western Conference.
Yeah, and there you saw Elijah Adekube. I mean, that's his role. He finds those little pockets in between the center backs, gets the ball, switches the field of play, and then they can go up the channels to either the wingers or the fullbacks who are advancing. So look for him to be a key player tonight to get possession, switch the ball, and kind of dictate the pace of the game from that holding midfield position.
A bit of back and forth right now, but Calgary with the majority of the possession. A loose ball off the side of the foot. No luck for Kamara, and Mr. Nelson's had to come up with quite a few balls already as Carducci is yet to touch the ball. Maybe this will be the chance. That one covered well by Jonathan Wielden. Sent all the way down, and again it's Nelson's to field. Wielden and Waterman in the back. Fading backwards is Haynes to cover if necessary. 3-4-3 right now for the Foothills FC. And they're putting pressure on Nelson here. He has to clear it out when he didn't want to, and it'll go out of bounds here on the near touchline.
Yeah, really good pressure from the Foothills FC forwards just to put the keeper under pressure and get him to kick a ball out of bounds.
And speaking of out of bounds, that will be a goal kick at the very last inch. Nice crowd developing here. Still trying to educate the town of Okotoks that we're here and trying to get ready for the Canadian Premier League Cavalry FC, Cavalry, and that's going to be a tremendous field surface at Spruce Meadows, normally a show jumping or equestrian facility. Can't wait to go and check that out. That press conference was 8 days ago, and the season ticket commitments are starting to file in every day. So team very, very excited. Tommy Wilden will obviously advance from this team to coach and general manage that team, and according to what he said, a lot of these players are going to get a chance to be on the Canadian roster. Of course, we're still waiting to hear about rules regarding international players.
Yeah, different kinds of thoroughbreds will be at Spruce Meadows starting next week.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, you sit in the stands, you'll look forward, see soccer, you'll turn around and see show jumping behind you. So I'm allergic to everything horses related, so I'll have to decide where my season tickets are going to be in a very carefully placed situation.
Focus on the soccer side of the complex.
Yeah, I don't want to be sneezing for 90 minutes. Free kick brought in, nice clear for Portland, but only for the moment. And a bit of back and forth here, but Foothills FC controlling on their side of half, only for the moment. And here comes number 38. This is Malcolm Dixon, the right wing, trying to make a move, and he'll get a throw-in opportunity. Ledgerwood's clearance hits our roof.
Yeah, Portland tried to counter on that, and they tried to go quickly, but Foothills very well organized. They had 6-7 players back against the 4 attacking Portland players, so not much of a threat other than giving up the throw-in off on this side of the field.
Fantastic throw into the center of the field. No one from Portland there to take advantage of it. Verstraeten threw his leg at it, but no luck for him, and the ball goes backwards. Driving forward is Verstraeten again, trying to get a leg on it. Knocked it out to the wing, and Segovia didn't have much better luck, but they'll get a corner here. Corner's now 1-1, approaching the 10-minute mark. Segovia. Let's see where he places this one. Oh, it'll be inside near. The give and go didn't work with Haji, and Calgary Foothills FC takes the ball away. We have a whistle at the far end of the field.
Not sure about that one. I think that might have been, I agree it was a foul, but maybe he could have let the advantage play in that situation, given that it was a 3v4, even numbers up against the Portland back line. A little bit of maybe a quick whistle for the referee. Now it looks like we have a card.
Looks like we do have a card. I think it might have been Jones that got it.
No, it was from Portland.
We'll double check that and let you know officially here as we get the official word from the 4th official, and then that'll get sent up to us.
That's where Jay Wilden is really, really effective. He has a terrific long ball delivery. He can get this into the box, and then with guys like Mamadi Kamara and Moses Danto in there, there's always a chance something can happen. And of course, as I say that, hits a ball right onto the far touch line, and that's out of bounds. Let's see what Nelson's going to do here. No big booming goal kick. Bit of trade back. Looks like they want to play some small ball here to Portland, and it's another steal. Danto makes a move, gets tripped up, and the referee, what is he going to do here? The man in yellow.
A yellow on the goaltender. That's 2 for the Timbers.
Yeah, clearly a penalty, clearly a yellow card. At first I thought that the pressure that Foothills was putting on the keeper didn't do very much and didn't result in the turnover, but it was that second line of pressure that Foothills applied that won the possession, played Moses Danto in, and then a good touch around the keeper, had to bring him down, and now another PK for Foothills FC.
Calgary's first goal this season was a penalty kick, and let's see what happens here. Moses Danto. Oh, it's saved. The rebound, header, score. On the rebound, Danto. Great job by Nelson, but out of position to handle it. A simple header, and Moses Danto on the steal that created the penalty kick as Portland got a little mixed up in their own zone, their own defensive third, and it's a penalty kick goal in the 13th minute for Moses Danto.
Yeah, good save. I thought it was a bit of a centrally taken penalty, but good for Moses for staying in position and being able to head the rebound into the goal.
Goal scored by number 9, Moses Danto.
Well, I was just going to mention before Danto made the steal, and here's another one for Foothills FC, is struggling was Joash Sutherland, number 40, but they seem to be playing a lot of small ball. Like, they didn't have the big booming goal kick. They didn't push it across on the corner, and I think that disorganization really came back to bite them there.
I think Portland is going to try to play, and they're going to try to play a possession game. And I think what's happening is a couple of times we've seen Foothills try to press, especially high up the field. And I think we can continue to see that. And then you get chances like this where Moses gets released 1v1 against the center back. So look for the Foothills to continue to press deep in Portland's zone if they're organized and ready to do it. And then now they're starting to press again.
Great volley kick there by Kyle Jones a moment ago, and that led to an opportunity that Pasquati tried to differently handle, but once again Portland is getting pressed, as you said, and they just seem a little confused right now.
And my sense is they're going to still want to continue to play regardless of the press, and they'll want to play around that press, and that's a good opportunity for Foothills FC to win possession high up the field and then convert that into a transition to goal.
2 yellow cards on the board for Portland. We'll get you the official information on that momentarily. But Calgary leads 1-0. That's all that matters. Touch by Segovia. Brings it down. In for Hadji. And another steal. And a Calgary player brought down just outside the halfway line. However, it's going to be Portland possession.
Yeah, and I thought the field would be more of an issue in terms of the ability to both teams to play a possession-based game, but it doesn't seem like it's been an issue tonight. I know last week against Victoria was a bit of an issue in some of the games, but so far so good tonight. Yeah,
they've been planting and watering every second day, so you can see some significant improvement in certain sections of the field. Obviously, in these 90 minutes, it's going to get ripped up again, but there wasn't a lot of water between the snow melt and the opening games 2 weeks ago, but they've really made some extra effort here in the last 2 weeks, and after Sunday they'll have 2 more weeks before the next home game, and they'll continue to push the greenery of the effort. It's been in the 70s/mid-20s all week here in Calgary. Haven't had any rain since that announcement, as that's going to be a yellow card against Zeeby, number 8.
Yeah, and I think the ref thinks it was a professional foul that he held back the Portland opponent to prevent him from going forward. I think he just ran into him by accident. So a bit of a harsh one in my opinion.
3 yellows in 15 minutes. This referee's not wasting a lot of time.
Or having said that, maybe Bruno was really professional about it and did it anyway. And it made it look like you just ran into him.
Calgary come in to the game, as we said, at 2-0. Seattle 1-0. Lane United, who was out of Eugene, Oregon, so not too far from Portland, 1-1. The TSS Rovers. That free kick will go. Oh boy, there's some contact from Carducci. And it looked like, and now some conversation, Carducci got involved with 51.
That's
Wouter Verstraeten, who quickly runs all the way to half court, I was going to say, the halfway line, to just get out of the yelling area.
Yeah, I think he's wondering if he might get a yellow card, because Marco was pretty exposed with his arms in the air going for the ball, and Verstraeten went right through him as he was unprotected. So,
well, that lob pass didn't miss the far corner by very much at all.
Not at all.
Carducci had to be careful. As I said, TSS Rovers 1-1, Portland 1-1, and the Victoria Islanders so far 0-3. That is the Northwest Division table coming into the matchup. Another drive across and a goal. Didn't take much longer. Kyle Jones just waited for the pass, and it looked like Zabi got it to him, and
I think it might have been Moses Danto, and you just saw the power and pace of him. And just as he got around the defender, got to the end line, drove the end line, and then played a ball across to Kyle Jones for him to easily finish. So, yeah, Moses is quite a player, very powerful striker.
Goal scored by number 23, Kyle Jones.
And 5 minutes after the first goal, we have our second goal in the 18th minute. And once again, Portland just can't seem to get organized here. They had that offensive pressure a couple of minutes ago, and that contact between Verstraeten and Carducci, and then the momentum quickly shifted to the other end of the field, and Calgary buried it without much difficulty, to be honest. Jesse Martin will send it all the way through. Jimenez looked like it hit his shoulder.
Yeah, Portland's still trying to play, which you got to admire them for it. But it's a bit slow. There's not pace. There's not urgency. It's side to side between center backs. There's not a lot of play through the midfield going forward. So that'll be easy for Foothills to organize behind and defend against.
Well, it's. If there's any two teams in the league who know about the importance of goal differential for the season, it's definitely these two. So Calgary can't just sit back for the next 75 minutes and protect this lead. They realize better than anybody how important more goals during the season can be. So,
well, not only that, and I think we talked about the revenge match earlier. And now putting a big number on Portland would certainly make Foothills FC team feel better after the playoff loss last year.
Yeah, they only had 20 goals in 14 games last year, so Portland 29-12.
And there's the press again that Foothills is putting them under, and you can see the slowness of Portland is playing right into that press.
Another steal. Nico Pasquati up to Jordan Haynes. Haynes across, and the diving grab for Zachary Nelson. He doesn't want to have a three spot here in the first 20 minutes of the contest, but nice execution on the near side of the field, camera's side. That one for Wheeldon. Heads it out. But yeah, nice give and go there, and almost another payoff.
And there's Moses again with that pace and power. A bit too far from Jones, but you can see Moses is looking for that gap between the center backs, the ball played over top, and then his speed and power can get him to the ball and give him a chance.
Sending it in is Verstraeten. Yeah, normally a backliner, so for him to have been right near the goalpost there on that play with Carducci, quite unexpected. But as we saw in the previous two games, let's see what happens this time. This is Kamara for sure with the right foot. Rebound loose, but Nelson is there with Martin covering just for safety. But Kamara with a nice opportunity.
Yep, getting some chances. And Moses looks like something's bothering him. He's down, and looks like they'll get the medical staff out.
Let's tell you about the subs for Foothills FC. The substitute goalkeeper, Nathan Ingham. Number 4, Dominic Sator. 18, Dan Hayfield. Number 5, Jackson Farmer. 16, Sergio Camargo. 11, Ali Musi. And 19, William McKeough. For Portland Timbers FC, the backup goalie is number 1, Tobias Holstein. Substitutes Timur Savitsi at 33. Number 35, Daniel Trejo Del Rio. 36, Joseph Corner. 39, Igor Hubenya. 45, Gerardo Lopez. And 50, Jacob Simonis. Of course, up to 6 subs allowed in PDL. Not like the international game that we'll see UEFA Champions League game championship tomorrow in Kiev. If you're wondering where Stephanie Lebay is, she is in Kiev right now, getting ready to be at the Champions League final, live and in person tomorrow.
Is there any way I could trade places with her at this point in time?
Well, which Calgary to Kiev flight do you want to catch? The 9, the 9:10, or the 9:20? We could probably get you on a flight.
9:20, I think.
There you go.
Time to pack.
That's a 30-year-old Simpsons joke, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Marco Carducci will send it all the way in. And no, I talked to her and she said she's planning on having a lot of fun.
I can imagine.
Considering everything else that's going on, which we're not going to talk about, but we know she'll have a lot of fun and be posting on her Twitter feed. So check out Stephanie Lebay on Twitter, and hopefully we'll maybe before she goes to Europe in July, maybe have her on for another broadcast. We'll have to wait and see. But Frank, right now you're in your money, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. I'm enjoying this. It's a good game, good lead for Foothills FC, and a beautiful evening.
Oh, a gorgeous evening tonight. Very little wind, unlike what we saw 2 weeks ago, where we had a significant wind left to right on the camera side. And that was a major factor in that 1-0 win for Calgary Foothills FC. 2-0 on the game 1, 1-0 in game 2, but so far no goals against, which is what Coach Wielden is focused most on.
Absolutely, and you can see Portland is bringing everybody back, so even if they have a chance to clear this ball, there's not a target.
Oh, and a goal! What a throw in and what a payoff! And what a celebration! As set of a set play as you'll ever see. Pasquati with a tremendous throw-in, and it looked like it was Moses Danto that got another payoff here at the 24-minute mark. 3-0 Foothills.
Yeah, just a great throw by Nico, and Moses Danto just beat his defender to the ball and headed it in.
Number 9, Moses Danto.
Continue with your thought there, Frank.
No, I think it was a really good. He just again, that speed, power, and pace of Moses beat his defender to the ball, and then headed it across the goal to the far post.
Trying to clear it away is Joash Sutherland. Jonathan Jimenez, 47, and having a. I don't think there's any reason for Jimenez to have that kind of conversation with a referee who seemed to get quite excited at the first comment there. The head referee, of course, is
I'm not sure.
Manny Pequeño, who's been a fourth official here 2 weeks ago in the Victoria Series, and we have a yellow only card against Jimenez, 47. Ellerg Mendez and Eric Bankston are the assistant referees, and the fourth official under the tent is Dustin Friesen. So that's 4 cards and 3 goals. We may not see that much in the next month, let alone these 25 minutes. This has been an eventful game. That one's going to be sent wide. What can Pasquati do with it? Send it in again, the lob, headed away.
Well, I think one of the things I've been thinking about is what's Portland's reaction now. You can see Jimenez got the yellow card for kind of a high step on Kyle Jones, and so does their frustration start getting the better of them? Do they settle down and try to play and kind of get the proverbial one goal back and then work from there? It'll be interesting to see what the next 5 or 10 minutes are for the Portland Timbers and how they react to this pretty significant deficit so early in the game.
And honestly, I think postseason eligibility goal differential has got to be a factor for both of these teams. They'd rather lose 3-2 than 3-0.
Absolutely. Especially if they think that they're both going to be challenging for that top spot in the division. But very, very well organized Foothills team. We talked about the press a little bit. You can see that they're organized. It's one forward against the two center backs, and then the midfield support there. So, Foothills is doing it the right way by being well organized and having people in the right places.
Jimenez and Waterman with a big collision a moment ago.
Yeah, trying to get some possession now, Portland, which, like I said, is in their DNA. This is the way they like to play the game. So they'll try to keep it, try to move it around, and then, like I said, try to at least get that first goal back and see what happens after that.
On the near side, Jesse Martin along with Malcolm Dixon. Malcolm Dixon, the goal scorer in the first game of the year for Portland, the win that they had last weekend. He had 6 shots in the game, which nobody else had more than 2. So keep an eye out for 38 in red, as he's going to try to be as dangerous as possible here. Calgary, of course, this is their 24th home game in their history, 13-1-9. In their home history, and I believe Seattle was the only loss.
I believe you're right.
This is the 4th year of Calgary Foothills FC's existence in the PDL. This is the 10th season for Portland Timbers U23. They premiered in 2009. This is not the beginning for semi-pro soccer in Calgary. The team that Tommy Wilden played for was in the early 2000s, was in the old USL from 01 to 04. He played with Nick Ledgerwood for a little while as well in his career. Some header trades, and advantage will go to Calgary, so they will proceed.
Yeah, Portland has been in some big scoring games. They were 5-0 winners against Kitsap Pumas in the Lamar Hunt Open Cup. That's a competition that's played in the United States. And then they ended up losing 7-3 to Reno 1868, who's a USL team. So not unfamiliar with high scoring games if you're the Portland Timbers.
I imagine Tommy must have taken a look at that 7 against Portland video and maybe made some notes.
Well, the interesting thing about that game is Portland had a 3-2 lead. It was tied at 3-3 with about 70 minutes left, and then Reno got 4 goals in the last 20 minutes. So
wow.
So there may be more fireworks and goals in this game in the second half.
It could be 6-5 by the time we're done here tonight. Kamara tried to advance the ball, but did not accomplish that. Excuse me, Atakube, number 14. Tommy Wilden politely yelling instructions. Pasquati, number 12. Haynes, number 3. And Joel Waterman, 24.
And there's Elijah again, just being available in those little pockets of space to get the ball. He's drifting from center, is holding midfield position in near the center backs, between the center backs, either side of the center backs. So he's always an option for the 2 center backs when they're in possession.
Waterman and Wielden have been trading places. And once again, it's across. Keeping it down, Pasquati trying to control it and organize. Nice block by Jesse Martin to hold the inside advantage.
another corner, which just demonstrates the territorial advantage that Foothills FC has had tonight. I think they've had more of the possession, more better possession than Portland FC, and it's showing not only on the scoreboard, but then in these kinds of opportunities with corners, free kicks, and balls deep into the Portland box.
Here's the delivery and a cross, headed back and cleared away by Segovia, 44 in red. Keeping it in play at Akube, up to Ledgerwood. He puts it across. Danto looking for the Hattie, and it's blown down in Portland's favor. And Danto, who got a yellow during the weekend last week, Game 2, has some discussions with our referee, who's, as I said, not afraid to throw out the cards. So,
yeah.
And there's another one. That is the 5th card. This one against Danto, number 9 in white. 5 cards in 32 minutes.
Yeah, this is a little harsh. I mean, I can see the foul in that one. I can see him calling the foul. He was just going for the ball, just playing the game normally. I'm not sure it was worth a yellow card or warranted a yellow card, but hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt either team as the yellow cards add up over the course of the game.
We'll get you the full statistical breakdown at halftime. This crowd couldn't ask for a better start for Foothills FC, up 3-0 here 32 minutes into the contest. Of course, 2 p.m. Sunday Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Portland time will be the rematch. Camden Riley sends it back, and Portland forced to start out from the goaltender, and another steal for Foothills FC. Pasquati, number 12, he scored in Game 1 2 weeks ago. A very impressive goal. If you missed any Foothills FC games, click on the game link on the USL PDL website, and you can watch the archive of those 2 games whenever you like. Of course, same with the Timbers matchups. Their win in Victoria.
Yeah, it looks like Portland has sent more. Obviously, trailing by 3. They're going to send more forwards up. They have. They're trying to man up on the fullbacks with the striker in the middle, Jimenez. But here comes the counter with Moses Danto again.
Danto working against 3 men, drops it off. Sorry, that was Kamara. Danto gets the field goal, but doesn't go inside the posts. Danto and Kamara working well at down low by the net. Yellow's 3-1 officially, but we'll get that confirmed, including the goaltender, of course, for Portland Timbers.
Yeah, there's a good win by Elijah Adekube. But if you're Foothills now, you know Portland's coming. You know their goal is to get a goal before halftime. So in the next 12, 15 minutes, just organize, play behind the ball, look for the counters. Moses is up there and strong and powerful. So I think the key for Foothills now, if you can pop another goal, great. If not, then just stay organized and keep the clean sheet till halftime at least.
Martin looked for Dixon there, but Nick Ledgerwood, number 6, bounced that ball away.
Yeah, and Portland is definitely pushing players up. You can see there's 4 and 5 now in the Foothills FC half. They're kind of 1v1 against the back 4 of Foothills, and now it's up to the midfield to try to win those balls just like Nick Ledgerwood just did.
And Ledgerwood putting on the defensive pressure. We've hit 35 minutes. Nick trying to be a mentor to these players, as well as get himself ready for a possible appearance with the Canadian Premier League next season. Will there be a draft? Will there be free agency? Will there be a random draw? We'll have to wait and see. They don't want to. CPL doesn't want to tell us anything quite yet.
Yeah, well, clearly these players are auditioning for CPL, especially with Tommy involved in Cavalry FC. He's going to know them. He's going to know who they are. He's going to know their qualities. So this is important for the players as much as it is for Tommy and finding that group of players that will fill the Calgary FC roster.
And you could hear the sounds of anguish from here as it looks like the right hand of one of the players.
It's Jordan Haynes, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. A bit of a collision there.
Well, it's only his hand, so he's a soccer player. Should be fine.
Well, you go down there and tell him that. Yeah, you could hear the screams from up here.
Yeah, it might be a finger. It looks like finger or wrist from the sounds of it. Maybe just run into or bent backwards, bent the wrong way. The way a wrist and finger are not supposed to bend. Yes.
Well, there will be some ice on that finger in about 9 minutes, but he's
right back in.
Right back in it like nothing happened. And Portland has possession. Abdulkader Haji, 34 in black. Quick advancement, but Calgary read that well. And they seem to be reading what Portland is trying to execute here.
They are. You can see the field is starting to come into play a little bit. A couple of times the ball's like rolled and just bounced over people, or it's bounced in the air as someone was trying to kick it. So the bumpiness of the field is starting to come into play a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't lead to a bigger mistake that leads to a goal for either team. Hate to see a goal scored because of a bumpy field.
And from what we've been told, we know that the groundskeepers are working hard on this field, trying to make it soccer friendly. Of course, high school football is what it's mainly used for, and that one's going to be sent in, nicely cleared by Mr. Everything, Moses Danto, and advanced to Pasquati on the far side. On the right wing, he'll cut it through. Goaltender loses control, and more action inside the penalty area, and this time it's Portland's possession according to the head referee.
How about that? Moses Danto cleared the ball on the free kick inside his own box and nearly scored at the other end within 7 or 8 seconds.
Nelson messed that up, and the Foot Soldiers Supporters Club are letting him know. And as loud and proud as they normally are here on the left side of the field. That's how we have it set up here. The beer gardens on the one side of the field, and the kids section on the other side.
And both are active. Both are busy. Correct.
That's all the minor players are out there kicking it around when they want to take a break from watching. Of course, those kids that age, they'd rather participate than watch at any time. So,
and there you saw a bit of a difference in Portland now. A little bit of pressure from Kyle Jones back to Nelson, the keeper, and his clearance was well over center. They stopped trying to play it out of the back from his possession. So you can see that they're feeling the pressure and starting to change how they play and how they play out of the back, given Foothills putting pressure on them and the ball.
I think if anybody is looking forward more to halftime than Nelson, I can't think of who it would be, because I think he just needs a couple of minutes just to settle himself and get ready to come back for the second half after a lot of jitters and a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and he was put under pressure early. I mean, both not just in terms of pressure of players, but also kind of shots, opportunities. So he had to be in the game early.
Yeah, he handled the ball within the second or third several times within the first 3 minutes. So Calgary did not waste any time off the opening kickoff, and Carducci cleared the ball over the crossbar, so it'll be another corner kick for the Portland Timbers.
Yeah, and this is where Foothills FC has to be a little wary, right? It's late in the first half. You've dominated the game. You're dominating on the scoreboard. You give up a set piece. You really got to concentrate and not give up anything now.
Sent in. Getting a piece of it was Jimenez, 47, along with Verstraeten, 51. And once again, they put up Verstraeten near the goal mouth, despite his defensive position. And that ball will leave the playing area on the sideline, and that'll be a goal kick for Marco Carducci, who's come up big in each of the home games. A penalty kick save in game 1, and then an amazing diving clearance with about a minute to go, which preserved the 3 points for Foothills FC in game 2.
Yeah, Verstraeten goes up there on those set pieces. He's definitely their target guy, big center back, just like Foothills FC does with sending Joel Waterman and Jay Wielden up on the set pieces. And here comes Portland again.
And you just saw Joel Waterman, number 24, make that effort. Now he's sprinting back to his original position. Another whistle. This team likes to argue, and in the 2.5 games that I've seen this year, they do like to. Every time the whistle goes, there always is some conversation that we can hear the reverb of up here. So there's Moses Danto has that yellow card, and we'll keep an eye out for any more arguments, because we know that this referee has a short fuse.
That's certainly true. Yeah, again, another set piece late in the half. If you're Foothills FC, this is not what you want. You want to just keep the ball, possess, play the game.
Carducci punches that one away, and another stoppage. Wielden saying, let's get together when we're pressing.
Yeah, and that's the key to that, is that it's not one guy pressing individually on his own and just chasing 1 against 4. It's that you're coordinated and organized, and when the first guy goes, everybody behind him advances with him so that they narrow the field, tighten space, and put the opponent under pressure.
Portland will bring the ball up. Nice header there by Jimenez. And another. Carducci and Wielden yelling for a call, and it's another loose ball. Moses Danto waiting for someone to get in front. A weak touch there, and Portland clears the ball away into the audience. Perfect evening tonight. No glare from the sun, no wind at all. It's not cold, so it's a perfect 20-degree evening, and a great setting, and not too no uncomfort for anybody on the field today.
No, it is a terrific evening, and what a great facility this is. You know, as we look out from where we're sitting, there's the prairies to our right, and the foothills to our left. It's a terrific venue, and it's a good place for Foothills FC to call home for this year.
Since the PDL put in the rule that there must be at least 1,000 capacity, this was the best location. Okotoks, well known for their support of amateur sports, hockey and college baseball as well. The baseball team draws 2,500 fans a night, and they'll get underway here next weekend. So there will be some competition for the ticket-buying public. What can Portland do here on this play? It's going to be quickly chased down. Dixon gets brought down by Jordan Haynes, and that one's in! Haji, and you talked about it, Frank. They were getting into some bad patterns late into the first half.
Yeah, just, the set pieces were coming. Portland was getting a little bit of possession. They were breaking through, and then I think a little bit of breakdown in defense in the 1v1 defending. I thought they had a chance. Foothills FC had a chance to clear it. Couldn't do it. Gave up the ball, and then actually is a very, very good shot to Marco Carducci's left and to the top corner. For the goal that they needed, quite frankly.
First goal surrendered on the season by Marco Carducci, but I don't think anybody could have really stopped that one. Placed perfectly by 34 Abdicator Haji in the 45th minute.
And I think now, Portland gets a little bit of confidence. They get the goal before halftime.
1 minute of extra time will be added as once again Haynes is brought down.
44, Haji.
Yeah, Jordan is having a tough end to his first half.
1 minute of added time. I think, maybe the only other person that wants halftime more than Nelson might be Haynes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Carducci was the goaltender in the PDL Team of the Week for week 1 and 2. This is, of course, week 4 of the season. technically, although there weren't too many games in week 1. And Calgary going to try to get that 3-goal lead reestablished with minimal time left on the clock. Nico Pasquati working hard against 2. Puts it across, and that angle shot didn't miss by much by Nick Ledgerwood.
Really good effort by Nick Ledgerwood, and I thought Nico Pasquati did well, battling 1v1 to keep possession of the ball, and then finding Ledgerwood for the shot, which just bent to the outside of the post. Good effort though by Nick Ledgerwood.
Yeah, tremendous effort. Not quite the bend he wanted, but Zachary Nelson had to come out and handle it regardless. And that is the half. Danto at the 13th minute. Jones at 18. Danto again at 24. And Haji at 45. It is 3-1. Calgary Foothills FC leads. Your thoughts after 45?
Well, it's interesting. I'm going to say that Foothills FC is probably the more disappointed team, given that they're leading 3-1. I think they were a little sloppy and gave up that goal late in the half, and I think they're going to be disappointed about that. Portland, on the other hand, now has the ray of hope and the lifeline they needed, and now kind of game on.
All right, we'll come back at the beginning of the second half with the official stats story for you, but right now it's Calgary 3 and Portland 1. We'll be back. We are back. Dave Stanish along for the ride with you one more time with U20 Foothills coach Frank Schofi. And Frank, I think both teams had a lot to talk about in that halftime.
They did, yeah. Foothills would be disappointed in the last 15 minutes or so of that half in terms of their ability to control the play and their sloppiness in front of their goal. Portland will take some hope out of that one goal and try to get one early, and then it's game on at 3-2.
Let's give you the halftime numbers. Yellow cards to Haji, Nelson, and Jimenez. So the goaltender, 34 and 47 for the team in red. So keep those numbers handy. And for the Calgary Foothills FC, ZB number 8 and Danto number 9 got those very early yellow cards. Calgary 3 goals on 12 shots. Portland Timbers 1 goal on 1 shot. So Carducci will hope to touch the ball just so he doesn't have a 0 save percentage tonight. Corners, Calgary had 3. Portland had 2. Portland had 1 offside. Timbers 13 fouls. Calgary 9. 22 fouls in 45 minutes. There was a lot going on in that half.
That is a lot of fouls. I think maybe the ref had something to do with that as well in terms of how many times he whistled fouls.
22 fouls, 5 of which were yellow cards, and 4 goals.
It'll be a very exciting second half.
There was a lot to do there. So obviously both teams have switched sides. No halftime substitutions that we were informed of, but we don't expect it to be much longer until some of the teams make a change, one or both. Once again, Carducci in the green for Calgary Foothills FC going left to right on your screen, and Zach Nelson still in net in the blue, along with his teammates wearing the red. Portland Timbers down by 1. Danto for the Hattie, and no luck. He scored 3 there, but that doesn't count until November.
Great touch and turn by Moses, getting the ball in from Pasquati on the wing. First touch set him up, and the shot just over.
And I think he's probably graduated high school by now. Diving header there. Zebu tried to keep it in, but the angle just didn't work. And Portland wants to be certainly more aggressive. They know they can make an effort and score 1 goal. Let's see if they can score a second and a third, and who knows, maybe manage a tie or even something better if they can continue the momentum from the last 10 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, I think Foothills FC just needs to kind of get through the first 10 or 15 minutes. You know Portland's coming, so be ready, be organized. Just like that safety by Marco Carducci coming out to get that ball.
Wouldn't have gone in, but he controlled it just to be safe. And now it's Calgary on the near side. Mamadi Kamara, number 13. And Danto goes down. Danto scored on Sunday, so he got to drive Tommy Wheeldon's car, which apparently was a pregame bet between the two guys. So he was quite excited about that. And he's added 2 more here tonight for the 3-1 advantage. First goal on the penalty kick in the 13th minute.
I wonder if a hat trick means he gets the car.
That's a good question.
We'll have to find out.
Well, then he'll have to give Tommy a ride home then. Jones, that one deflected by 34, Haji. He has a yellow, as we mentioned. And it's back into the Calgary defensive half. Bit of a bump, and referee will blow that down in favor of Calgary Foothills, so that's 14 fouls for Portland. Not that we're keeping track. But yeah, 13-9. So Calgary 3 goals on 12 shots in the first period. First half. Jordan Haynes will start again. Portland 3-1 losers at TSS Rovers on May 18th. Of course, the team out of Vancouver plays at Swangard Stadium. And then 2 days later, a big win, 1-0 over the Victoria Highlanders, who have yet to score this season. So Portland's used to giving up 3 goals. In that game, they actually scored first and then gave up the last 3. Next week, they will play on the road again against Lane United, that team out of Eugene, Oregon. So not much of a road trip on June 1st.
Be close for them, yep.
And, of course, Foothills FC ladies begin their season tonight on the road. The UWS team, they are in Real Salt Lake. That game started at 7 o'clock, and we'll try to get you an out-of-town scoreboard update. Of course, follow all of Foothills FC on social media for updates on both teams. And as that one is sent wide away by Camden Riley right into the Foot Soldiers, we can tell you that next Friday, this stream will have the ladies' opening home game of the season, as they'll host the LA Galaxy in 7 days from today. And we'll be at the Calgary Soccer Center for that one. And we hope you'll join us for that one as well. And, of course, the men are on the road next weekend.
Yeah, it looks like Portland now is starting to press the Calgary Foothills FC back line, forces a long ball and a recovery by Portland. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue to push that press on the back line and see if they can get the ball turned over upfield.
A couple of Portland changes. Simenes, number 50, is in for Jimenez. Jacob Simenes in for 47, Jonathan Jimenez. And number 39, Igor Hubenya, has joined the action as he substituted out Wouter Verstraeten, who was anywhere and everywhere in that first half.
Yeah, so it looks like Portland is playing a back 3 now, which makes sense. They're going to push players forward. So it looks like a back 3, holding midfielder in front of them. And then it might be 3 front runners, but definitely have taken out Verstraeten, who was a center back, and replaced him with a more attacking player. Try to make up this 2-goal deficit.
Calgary will begin the play again. In for Kamara and sent out. So Portland can score a lot of goals, but they surrender a lot as well, as we talk about those 2 PDL matchups. Excuse me, 2 PDL matchups and 2 U.S. Open Cup matchups. And we saw, like you mentioned, they gave up the 4 goals in the last 20 minutes. Against the USL team, they gave up 3 goals in 24 minutes here tonight. So I think the trend is if you can get 1, you can get a lot.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think Foothills FC just has to get through this first 15 minutes, because Portland's going to try to push and get the second goal and then have the majority of the second half to try to get the third and tie the game. So they're coming. Can you withstand the pressure? Can you bend and not break? And maybe get one on a counter. You have Moses Danto up top. We've seen his speed and power tonight, so that's always a threat for Foothills FC. And
Ledgerwood playing a lot further up than he normally does. Have to ask Coach Wheeldon about that after the game and see what that post-game, what during the postgame what that strategy was all about. We'll see if Nick can get on the scoreboard later on. He'll get on the foul board right there. And it'll be quickly brought in, not wasting any time. The substitute, Igor Hebenya, number 39, will resume the action. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, and again, set pieces, always a danger. They don't have Verstappen in the game anymore as a target player, but always have to be careful of set pieces played into the box.
One player from each team knocked down. Referee going to have a conversation here with Simonis, number 50, the tallest man on the field and maybe the tallest man within about a 10-mile radius here.
Well, I know he's taller than me.
Yeah. Very large individual. A header off from him might be exactly what they want, but that got knocked away from, oh boy. That one, Kyle Jones got a piece of it on the, and then it was blown down offside by the far official with the flag.
But there's those dangers of the set pieces because, it's just a mix. It's a mess in there. You never know where the ball's going to end up. At first I thought it was too far a service, but very well done by the Portland player to play it back across goal and get a chance. I really think Foothills FC has to just establish a little bit more possession. Don't give up free kicks. Don't give up set pieces because Portland, I think, is going to look for that to get something in the box and hopefully get a goal out of the mix.
ZB. Ledgerwood definitely playing beyond the midfield in this contest. See if they can use him as a weapon, but unfortunately that ball rolled past the end line. 2 o'clock on Sunday is the rematch. 1 o'clock Portland time for all those Timbers fans tuning us in tonight. Either live or on the archive. Best thing about YouTube Live is if you want to see something, you can hit the rewind button and watch it as many times as you want. Ryo Shimazaki, number 54, will bring it in. In for Segovia. And Shimazaki with a bicycle kick to get it back to their possession. Ledgerwood working against 3. Aggressive header there for Danto. As I said, these white shirts were not going to stay white for very long. Danto's is a clear example.
Unlucky.
And that one over the head of Pasquati on the far left side of the field. He had some good looks on the near left wing in the first half.
But I think that's what Foothills FC needs to do. Portland is going to press them. They're going to bring more players ball side. They're going to try to compress the field left to right. And so I think those kinds of balls switching to the weak side of the field are going to give Foothills FC the opportunity to play forward. So not a good idea, or pardon me, a good idea. Just the execution just left a little to be desired.
And there's Ledgerwood again with a steal. Up to Danto. He can't handle it. Winning this race is Zeeby. Zeeby gets stopped up, but Calgary maintains possession.
And I think that's fine. Get the ball deep, get a bit of possession in Portland's attacking third, and then, play from there. Good effort. Well, an attempt by Danto on that one.
Yeah, pretty wild attempt there. But, Bruno Zeeby, former member of the Alberta Golden Bears national championship team in 2016. A lot of these players have played Canadian university ball. Talking about university ball, the Portland Timbers have players in the PDL MLS rankings. Haji, who got the goal, he's plays at Virginia Commonwealth, and he's in that top 50. Along with Benji Michel. Benji is not here tonight. Along with Ray Ortiz. who's also not here. Both of those players play for the Portland Pilots, so they know that town very, very well. The Rose Garden, of course, the main arena for the Trailblazers and the Winterhawks in the Western Hockey League. I got to get down to that Vancouver, Seattle, Portland area. I've always wanted to take a road trip down the Pacific Coast Highway from Victoria to San Diego. Eventually, I'll manage to make that happen. Maybe on an off weekend for Foothills FC broadcasting, but no, that's just a gorgeous area.
Yeah. It's a great part of North America, the Pacific Northwest, and I would say between Vancouver, Portland, and Seattle might be the hotbed of soccer in North America, between the professional teams they have there, the university teams across all three cities, and then some very, very strong youth clubs in all three cities. I think it's one of the best places for soccer anywhere in North America.
Of course, the Cascadia Cup, the battle between the Whitecaps, the Timbers, and the Sounders every year, and I remember watching some games from Portland and Seattle, and just a tremendous atmosphere. Portland playing in the old baseball stadium, and of course Seattle Sounders play in the same stadium that the Seattle Seahawks play. So tremendous football response.
Oh, great ball back.
Oh, off the post, the outside of the post for Kyle Jones. And he'd want that one back for sure.
What a great ball back. One touch by Mamadi. Just sent that ball back, set up Kyle Jones, and then just wide of the net.
Zach Nelson.
Yeah,
seems a lot more calm and cool and collected here in the second half.
Well, Portland has had more of the possession, so he hasn't had to be involved like he was at the start of the first half almost immediately, and I think it's made it easier for him. I think Portland is trying to push. Foothills FC kind of back on their heels a little bit, but chances like that we saw Kyle Jones hit will still happen. I was just going to say, I think there's more goals in this game. I don't think it's going to end 3-1.
Assistant referee blew that one down. And Calgary will begin again, going left to right. Sun trying to break through a little bit here.
And there's that pressure from Portland, so how does Foothills FC play out of it?
Calgary, without the actual steals that they had in the first half, neither team just trying to rip the possession away from their opposing player. So strategies have evolved here in the second half. Zeeby and the volley by Ledgerwood. Headed down. However, this is Kamara. Kamara on the right wing. Trying to make something happen inside the penalty area. Kick out. Zeeby sends it in, and nicely read there by, looks like Segovia, 44. Who cleared that one away, but some nice basic strategy there.
Yeah, and this is a little better from Foothills, just keeping it. The pressure's still coming. You know that Portland is probably not going to be able to sustain that level of pressure for the entire half, especially players who've been playing the whole game. So just keep it, move Portland, make them work to try to get around the ball and get win possession off of you. And I think, you have a chance to wear them down and get some opportunities.
Camden Riley called, clearly holding the jersey. Complaining of some possible blood. We've seen blood here. Player from Victoria got a nice, nasty gash on the far left side of the field here on a couple of Sundays ago after a giant collision with Danto, as it turned out. That one teardropped in, and Nelson had to be ready for that lob. Beautifully put in, but he was ready for it. Portland left to right in the red, right to left in the red jerseys. Back out to Hubenya. looking for Simenez, the two substitutions, trying to work together. Ledgerwood involved again. Up to Pasquati on that left side. Gets tripped up.
And that's a good run by Nico. Just attack the player, draw the foul. You know, you get possession, you get the free kick, you can start moving it around. You know, you take a breather, give your defenders a chance to rest and recover from the pressure that you know is coming. So very well done by Nico to attack that ball and attack that the Portland defender.
Gerardo Lopez brought him down as he's now into the cane. And that one cleared away by Camden Riley. 63 minutes are complete here tonight. Live in Okotoks, just 5 minutes south of South Calgary.
And there's Cal Jones forcing the long ball out by Nelson again, and Foothills FC wins it. Now it's his second ball, and the ability to pressure this ball that will be the key, right? Not to lose possession and give it away, and then give Portland a chance to run at your back four.
Dave Stanish and Frank Chofie here. Frank is the U20 coach for Foothills, and I assume that a couple of your guys are ready to make the jump to this next level in the next couple of years?
There are a couple. We have a couple of players right now who actually have been training with the PDL team. So they've been doing the training sessions with this group of players. We also provide an opportunity for some of the PDL players who don't get minutes in these games to come and get minutes in our games. So, you know, we've had Kyle Jones has played a game with us. Bruno Zebi was on our roster once. We had some other guys some substitutes on the bench tonight that played for us. So it's kind of a give and take. So we'll send some players up, but then we also give an opportunity for some of the PDL players to get some minutes.
Getting ready to come into the game for some minutes is number 35, Daniel Trejo Del Rio. Just on the edge of the tent for the fourth officials. Calgary has yet to make any changes officially here, but here is the official entrance of the game for Daniel. And he will substitute out Alejandro Segovia, number 44. 35 in for 44. Don't forget, Jimenez has come out. He had that yellow card. Zebi and Danto still have their yellows, as well as Hadji and the goaltender, Zachary Nelson. But I think Nelson will be a lot better behaved here in the last 25 minutes.
Oh, that's a really good run.
A header. Oh, no luck for Danto, but a great clear by Dulise, number 53. His first significant touch of the contest, and in a very quick moment. But Kyle Jones looking excellent tonight.
Yeah, that was a great run by Kyle Jones and a great ball over top. The smallest guy in the field headed it over to Moses, and Moses almost finished it off. But terrific run from deeper in midfield by Kyle Jones into the box for the service.
And another tremendous throw in and a punch out by Zachary Nelson as more bodies fall to the ground inside the penalty area.
It looked like a rugby scrum there for a second with all the bodies down on the ground.
Exactly. Another substitution getting ready to be made here.
I think this is Foothills FC, and Willie Akio's getting ready to come in. I'm not sure who he would go for. Willie's a striker, so I'm not sure if it's going to be a straight swap for Moses or whether Willie goes out onto the wing to take advantage of his pace. Looks like Ali Musi's getting ready to check in as well.
Well, speaking of Willie Akio, if you go to the Foothills Twitter, Foothills FC U23, a skills contest between Carlos Patino and Willie Akio. I won't spoil the results for you, but it's a fun piece of social media. Let's just say that, and it's quite entertaining. So, who's the more skillful player, Patino or Akio? Go out and check it out. And when you're there, subscribe at Foothills FC U23. I've gotten tweets at 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. from those guys, so they're very busy all week long between game times. Calgary waiting for the chance for these two substitutions. However, Portland is going to get this free kick just outside the corner. Making some moves. Touched by Simonez and headed in the wrong direction. And it's going to be Pasquati to try to cover on the opposite side of where he normally hangs out on the right. And now we'll get the substitutions. Portland not stepping down. They want to try to reduce this lead.
Yeah, so that is a straight swap. Willie Akio for Moses Danto.
In the game, number 9, Moses Danto.
Danto with 2 goals.
Willie Akio.
Willie Akio will come in.
I'm going to have to apologize to him for mispronouncing his name.
He had one start last weekend, and at the 68-minute mark, he is joining this contest. And almost got the first ball, but nicely headed down by Trejo Del Rio as he's into the heart of the action. Haji sends it across. Great clearance there by Wielden. Excuse me, that was Waterman, 24.
Yeah, and there you saw Willie Akio's pace, just putting the center back under pressure, forcing a kick out of bounds.
Calgary going to make another substitution at this moment. And it'll be Ali Musi, as we talked about. And he'll take Pasquati's spot.
Calgary FC substitution. Out of the game, number 12, Nico Pasquati. Into the game, number 11, Ali Musi.
Hey, Willie, be strong.
And Calgary with a 3-1 advantage. No goals here in the second half. Nice header there from Musi, not taking long to get involved. And the center midfielder, Nick Ledgerwood, makes his impact felt again. Kamara has switched sides, which is not uncommon.
No, and I think Ali Musi is naturally a right-sided winger, so it makes sense to put him here. He's pacey as well, along with Willie Akio. The two of them can put their Portland backline under pressure. I think the key till now is that Foothills FC has gotten through that kind of 15-minute period, haven't given up a goal, given up some opportunities, but nothing super dangerous, and they've gotten through that phase of the game where it could have been a little risky had Portland got a second goal.
Waterman involved in some physicality there, and the training staff heads out as we've hit the 70-minute mark.
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, without whom this
Portland Timbers, as we said, defeated Calgary in the playoff play-in game, reached the round of 16, aka the Western semifinals in the PDL last year, and lost to Golden State out of Northern California, who are still in the round of 32 in the US Open Cup for 2018, as the MLS teams have now been added, and they are down to 32, and the draw is available on ussoccer.com. And my page, the page I really like, the cup.us, who follows the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup 12 months a year and gives you historical information almost every day as that tournament is over 100 years old, and extremely important, more so year after year after year in the United States. That one gets blown down by the far official.
We can see Jacob Simonis, number 50, is right at the top and at the top of their attacking formation. They look for him. He's as you mentioned, Dave.
You can't miss him.
He's the biggest guy on the field, so they're looking for him with long balls out of the back, and then hopefully he'll flick it on or flick it down, and then players run off of him. So I think Foothills FC has to watch that long ball served in from the back to Simonis.
What can you do with a guy that's that big?
I think you have to challenge him even if you're not as tall as he is, and then I think the key thing is to win the second ball that he is able to get down. So whether that's backwards toward the midfield, the Foothills FC midfielder should try to win that one and fight for that one, or whether he flicks it on, then whoever's supporting behind the ball, whether it's the keeper or another center back, has to be able to be in position to win it. So you're not going to beat him in the air, so it's the second ball that you have to win off of him.
Looks like Portland's going to make another change. Coming in will be Timur Zvidzi, 33 in red, eventually. And that one deflects not to Portland's liking, and Simonis will have to watch the ball go in the opposite direction. As here comes Zvidzi in for 38. Malcolm Dixon, as I said, the goal scorer last week, not as lucky tonight, not the shot count that he had in games previous last weekend, but yeah, Calgary's held him down very, very well, and now they're making a change.
Yep, good overall, and not a poor defensive effort by Foothills FC. I think if they could take that last 10 minutes of the first half back in terms of the sloppiness, especially the sloppiness on giving up the goal in the 1v1 defending, I think it's been a decent defensive performance for Foothills FC. Nothing really dangerous, and anything that's gone into the goal mouth mark was covered.
Portland substitution. Number 3.
Collision there. Riley not liking the call.
Malcolm Dixon.
Zeeby and Riley there. Another man you can't miss with that the reddish mane to match the jersey. Referee a lot calmer in this second half.
And I think it's been a more physical half. I think it's been a bigger, more of a battle in this half, I thought, than the first one, and gave all the yellow cards in the first half.
And it'll be another opportunity here for Portland, going right to left, trying to find 2 more goals in the next 15 and a half minutes.
Well, and there you can see the size difference with Simonis and the center backs, Jay Wielden and Joel Waterman. They're both over 6 feet, and he is almost a head taller than both of them. So it just goes to show you the size difference and why he is their target player.
Sort of like basketball, use the tallest guy in the middle and make them work around him.
Yeah, send it to the post and play off of him. Yeah, and there's Willie's pace.
Big race there. Not much between Willie Akio and Gerardo Lopez. And just as quickly as I say that, the ball's down on the other half of the field. And here we go again. Calgary player down. Play continues. And there's a trip.
Well, yeah, Tommy Wielden is saying that it's a head injury. He did fall on his back and shoulder, so it could very well be a head injury. The ref should have stopped the game. And I think Portland, under sportsmanship, should have played it out of bounds, but they continue to play. So hopefully Jay Wielden is okay and it's nothing serious.
Like you said, the physicality has been evident here in the second half, even if the tempers of everyone on the pitch have been relatively calm compared to the first half.
Yeah, it's been much more physical, I think, in the second half. I thought the first half was more, kind of ticky-tack fouls, but this has been a physical play and, kind of battles in the air and 1v1 battles with the ball. So it's more physical half, I think, than we saw in the first half.
Back in. Pick up Ellie. Back in, like everyone.
Yeah, another dangerous set piece here, just outside the box.
Yeah, if Portland can strike here, that could put on some real pressure for the last 13 minutes.
Yeah, it definitely would. And I think, if you rewind that, the ref should have stopped the play. There wouldn't have been the foul against the Timbers player, and we wouldn't have had this set piece. Portland wouldn't have had this set piece opportunity. So, what's the old saying? Hindsight is 20/20.
Something like that. Yep. And Calgary will now add number 16, Sergio Camargo, to substitute out for Kyle Jones, number 23.
Yeah, and Sergio Camargo is a new player, joined the team a couple of weeks ago. He has played in the PDL. He was actually a PDL champion with the Kitchener-Waterloo United team in 2015. He's been at TFC Academy. He's played for TFC2, and he's played at Syracuse University. He's one of the players that actually played some minutes in our U20 team. Central midfielder, very good on the ball, controls the game, very skillful, very silky kind of player. And I think what he will do is try to settle down the game through these last 12 or 15 minutes.
And also into the game to replace Jonathan Wheelton is Dominic Zator, number 4. There's the kick, and it's...
Foot Soldiers will like that one.
Yeah, they want a souvenir. A field goal, but not a goal.
Yeah, not a bad replacement, Jay Wheeldon. Hopefully he's okay. It looked like he was a little woozy coming off, but Dominic Zator, former Whitecaps FC residency player, really strong center back. So Foothills FC will not see any drop-off in terms of performance or ability with Dominic Zator in the game.
Jackson Farmer got hurt on game 1 2 weeks ago and has not seen game action since. However, he is on the sub list for Foothills FC tonight. And that one headed back to the goaltender smartly and safely by Dulise. Sending it through, all the way up and all the way over. Timur Svidsi.
Yeah, very dangerous ball over top. That ball got in behind Bruno Zebi, and unfortunately for the Foothills FC team, put over the net.
Calgary starting out again.
Well, there you see Sergio Camargo and his ability to show up in pockets, get the ball, control the game. From his reception of the ball, then Foothills FC has it and can go forward and keep possession for a bit.
Ledgerwood playing up again. That one knocked down and taken away by Francois Dulise, 53 in red. That possession to the Portland Timbers. No time to waste. 80 minutes down on the main clock. We'll see how much additional time is added. Kamara handled that one. And it'll be switched around. Ali Musi, who's been in for about 10 minutes, has that one picked off.
Yeah, and that's fine. You get a throw in, you can slow the game down, you can organize again. I think Foothills FC just needs to be aware of not becoming too complacent as we get into the 80th minute and you have a 3-1 lead. Just continue to play, continue to stay organized, and see the game out.
Haynes will probably have his hand in ice overnight, I would expect, for quite a while, over the next 36 hours until the next game. Nice clearance once again by Portland's defense. And that ball ruled in Portland's favor. Jesse Martin drops it off. It'll be sent down.
Guess who?
Guess who? That's exactly right. Jacob Simonis. Not wasting any time.
Yeah, that's really going to be the key in this last 9 or 10 minutes is, just they're going to play him. He's going to get the ball down. Can Foothills FC win the second ball?
And he'll try to earn a start for Sunday afternoon. They may want him for the full 90 once it's 0-0 again when we start again on Sunday.
Yeah, he has caused some trouble in there for sure, and they're definitely looking for him. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens Sunday in terms of Portland's starting lineup. You're exactly right.
As the dirt flies at midfield. Nick Ledgerwood advances the ball up. Willie Akio cross too high for Camargo, 16. However, still chasing it is Zeeby. That one brought up by Shimazaki. And this is going to be blown down. Shavitsi. Delise.
Yeah, Dave, you're right. Nick is playing very high in this game. No question about that. And that pressure forced the ball out of bounds for a throw-in for Foothills FC.
Goaltender sends that one out of bounds. Here on the near touchline. Bringing the ball through. Nice back kick by Keogh. Trying to find Musi. However, it's 1 against 5 or 6 at this point. And Portland eventually wins the battle.
Yeah, odds stacked against him on that one.
Ledgerwood will promote the ball into the penalty area. As now here comes Jackson Farmer. He's getting ready to come back in. Nice to see him back after a couple of weeks off from game action, at least. Pretty nasty injury on day 1 of the 2018 PDL season for Foothills FC. If you want to check out more PDL action, either live or on archive, go to uslpdl.com and follow along with the live video and live scoreboards throughout North America. Got a chance to watch a bit of the Portland game against TSS Rovers, and those guys did a fantastic job and had the huge numbers to prove it. So we'll hope to get to that level.
Calls for a penalty there. I'm not sure. That would have been a harsh one, I think.
Right inside the area. And that one, and no question about that, the spikes right to the shins. Calgary looking for a quick move, but they're going to blow that down immediately, as it looks like Akio is still down. And Jordan Haynes will come out. Jackson Farmer will come in a couple of minutes. Now, Calgary getting ready for that set piece after the foul that was committed.
Yeah, it was a good spell for Foothills FC, just moving the ball around, getting it forward. Good pressure by Akio to win the ball back and then win the foul.
Coming out of the game, number 3, Jordan Haynes. Entering the game for Foothills, number 5, Jackson Farmer.
I think Haynes definitely had his finger twisted in the wrong direction earlier in the half.
Yeah, it could be.
Earlier in the first half, and as we said, you could hear it from up here, how much pain he was in for the moment, but the kick is over the crossbar again.
Yeah, good strike, just a couple feet over the crossbar.
Ali Musi, number 11, had that opportunity. Probably tried to catch Portland watching the sub and tried to catch him a little bit unaware, but put it over the bar nonetheless.
Well, this will be the time, I think, if there's a chance to counter Portland, this is when it will happen, because they are pushing, they are trying to get the goals. Good for Foothills. I mean, that tremendous athleticism from Nick Ledgerwood, still putting pressure on the ball deep in the Portland half in, the 87th minute of the game. So kudos to their sports scientists and fitness trainers for allowing players to make those kinds of runs this late in the game. Had a terrific touch there.
How about Ali Musi with the left foot? Misses the corner, but not by much.
What a touch and through ball by Nick Ledgerwood, though, to send Ali in for the attempted goal.
Danto in the 13th minute, Jones in the 18th, Danto in the 24th, and Haji in the 45th. That's where we are, 3-1 in favor of Foothills FC. And that's Jackson Farmer making an impact on his first touch, and again on his second. Boy, Ledgerwood has been everywhere.
Yes, he really has.
And
tremendous game.
In a big battle there with Igor Hubenya, 39. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast tonight. Hope you're active in the YouTube chat room. And we hope to see you here again on Sunday. Calgary would go to 9 points if this score stands. 3-0 in the league. And lead Portland by 6.
And I think that's the critical point, is start getting the gaps in points between your direct opponents for the division lead and win in the division. So this is critical. And then, makes Sunday even that much more critical, because then you can open up a huge gap over them if you get a good result on Sunday.
And Portland's going to want to put tremendous pressure on that game on Sunday in order to get a split of this weekend series, because, as you said, they don't want to be 9 back
exactly
of Calgary. Because at that point, there will only be 10 games left in the regular season.
Yeah,
you think about any other sport when there's only 10 games left in the regular season, how much everything gets amped up.
Yeah. Yeah, 9 points is a big gap. I'm sure Foothills FC would love to have it. I'm sure Portland would be dreading leaving Calgary after the weekend, 9 points behind the team in first.
Looking to come into the game for Foothills FC is Dan Hayfield, number 18.
Calgary Foothills FC substitution. Coming into the game, number 18, Dan Hayfield. Exiting the game, number 13, Mamadi Kamara.
Kamara gets a yellow card while leaving the contest in a discussion with the referee. So
I think the ref had an issue with the pace of his exiting the field. But
that's true.
I think I'm not sure it warranted a yellow card. You just add on some extra time at the end if he goes off slowly. What do you think of the ref's performance tonight?
He's certainly calmer than he was in the first 20 minutes. We had 4 yellows before we had our third goal, I believe. So, because we had goals at 13, 18, and 24. So, yeah, the referees hang out on the floor above us here at halftime, and he was sweating bullets in the first half. Like, his collar was completely drenched in sweat. So.
And you're not attributing that to the nice evening?
Well, they've kept them running. I mean, now we've got a nice little summer breeze here, just to be able to relax. And here at 9:20 p.m. But 5 minutes of additional time will be added as we've hit the 90-minute mark officially on the clock. Let's see what Portland can do in these next 5 minutes. They'd like to find one, just for, like I said, we were talking about that goal differential. But, this referee's going to sleep well tonight, I think. That one sent through. Carducci, like I said, I think Carducci's seen one shot and it went in. So
I think you're exactly right.
I think he's 0 for 1 tonight, although not many people are going to stop that shot by Haji in the 45th minute. The worst time you want to give up a goal, pretty much in any sport. keeps track of goals like lacrosse or hockey, it's the first goal of the period or the last goal, first minute of the period or the last minute of the period. The worst times to give up goals in any of those three sports.
Yeah, and I just need to say I've been really impressed with Nick Ledgerwood. He's still working as hard as he was at the beginning of the game, and he's doing the hard work. I mean, it's easy when you're in possession and you play a ball and lay it off to a guy running into space, but he's doing the hard work of closing space and getting close to opponents with possession. So credit to him. He's had an outstanding game, I think.
Huge kick there. Nicely done by Ali Musi. Of course, these subs want to start on Sunday, so they're going to put out the maximum effort. Inside coverage there for Hubenya. So his opponent couldn't get to the inside.
There he is again. Simonis with a header back.
And that's another advantage for a guy that big, is especially on the defensive side, is that height advantage for headers and set pieces.
Absolutely.
He's got to be 6'5".
Yeah, at least. Everybody looks 6'5" to me, though.
All right, fair enough.
I think,
a yellow to Mr. Red, I believe, Camden Riley, if I'm not mistaken. But go ahead.
I was going to say Foothills is in the second half. Portland was going to come and try to get the second goal. It's been clearly a case of bend but don't break. They're targeting Simonis with long balls, and then he's trying to play either the flick over top into space behind him or lay it back down to players coming to support him. So, not a classic defensive game, but Foothills FC did enough, and like I said, the old bend but don't break adage was what they did tonight, which is exactly what you need to do sometimes.
As the floodlights start to shine brighter and brighter. Perfect night for soccer. Perfect night to be outside, no matter what you're doing. Hopefully a lot of you are watching this on your patio or terrace. And we're expecting nothing less on Sunday. No precipitation in the forecast that I've seen. So
yeah, should be a beautiful afternoon Sunday for the rematch.
Look to have a good crowd. We had the local cheerleading club performing, and I think half of those parents were out here taking photos, and most of them stuck around for the second half, but some of those kids probably have pretty early bedtime, so they're probably watching here on YouTube Live to find out how the game turned out. And right now it's 3-1, Calgary leading Portland Timbers under 23. Brought up by Hubenya, who's looked pretty good since he's come in.
Yeah, he has. Been impressed with him, and obviously Simonis with just being that big target guy that's getting a lot of the ball and seeing a lot of the ball.
Yeah, Portland knows they're against the clock, but yeah. The referee's not going to turn him down for the amount of time that he wants. At least I don't think he will. But he gave a yellow card to a player who was exiting the field, so you never know.
Well, look for Carducci to come for this one, especially if it's played deeper into the box. You can see just that mass of players in there.
Bent and sent away smartly, and that's your ball game, folks. As some pushing and shoving behind the referee's back, the assistant on his way in. And this is not unusual for Foothills FC. We saw this a couple of Sundays ago against Victoria Highlanders, but that giant save by Carducci was kind of overtook the headline, but An interesting 90 minutes. Calgary 3,
Final score.
Portland 1. All the scoring in the first half. Frank, how would you assess the 90 that we just saw?
I thought Foothills FC had a terrific first 35 minutes, a little sloppy in the last 10 minutes of the first half, and then the second half was just really scrambly, really stretched, not a lot of possession. So Foothills FC did enough in the first 35 minutes to win the game and get the result, and they're back here on Sunday.
All right. Well, a tremendous effort once again. Moses Danto with 2 goals, including that penalty kick from the yellow card by goaltender Zach Nelson.
Be sure to join us for the rematch on
Kyle Jones in the 18th minute, and Abdulkader Haji in the 45th minute for the Portland Timbers to break the goalless streak of Marco Carducci. 3-1, Calgary is the winner, and as you said, that 6-point differential is extremely important at this stage of the season. For everyone involved, we thank you very much for tuning us in, either live or on the archive, and we'll see you on Sunday. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.